It's Friday night and it's date night, which is the night I usually take my beautiful wife out on a great date, but we're quarantined. So we thought we'd make a video about baking rice pudding instead. Come on inside, let's go bake. Hi, I'm Ben with the Bread Brothers, and tonight we are baking something different than bread. All right, so you might think that baking rice pudding for date night is not very sexy, and you're probably right. But it's all that we have to do tonight. The theaters are closed and all of the restaurants are closed, and so we're gonna have some fun in the kitchen. My wife is actually on the other side of the camera, and I'm going to be baking some rice pudding that was, this recipe comes from my great-grandma Barton, my mother's grandma. It actually is written in my mom's recipe card here. So she gave this to us when we got married 22 years ago. And we had some milk that was going to expire soon. And so this is a great one for folks that have a lot of milk around. My grandma, actually, my great-grandma always had a cow, and so they always had a lot of milk, and they baked a lot of rice pudding. Ours came from Costco, but it needed to be used. So we're going to start out tonight with 1/2 gallon of milk. This is just 1% milk. I think you can just use whatever you want. 1/2 gallon of milk, 1 cup of rice, 1 cup of white sugar, 1 tablespoon lemon extract, 1 tablespoon vanilla extract, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. It says a dash of cinnamon. I like a lot of cinnamon, so I'm going to give it a happy dash, and then a dash of salt. So I think that's probably a dash. And I'm just going to stir that up. And set that aside for a minute while I show you another recipe. So I like to experiment a lot in the kitchen, and tonight I have decided I want to try something I've never tried before. Many of you know that Bert and I make Potter's porridge. We've been doing this for about 1.5 years, and people have really loved this as a breakfast item. There are 7 gluten-free grains in this, including steel-cut oats, millet, quinoa, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, flax seeds, and chia seeds. So a really hearty blend of these 7 gluten-free grains and seeds. And I'm going to try this in place of rice tonight. This is about 2 1/4 cups, so it's a little bit more, but I'm just going to experiment and just throw the whole thing in. So with this one, we're going to start with the same ingredients that we did with the rice pudding, but we're going to use, instead of white sugar, we're going to use brown sugar. I like the kind of caramely flavor of brown sugar a little bit better. So we're going to try that, and we're going to use the same 1/2 gallon of milk, cup of brown sugar, tablespoon of lemon extract, tablespoon of vanilla extract, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, and the full container of Potter's porridge. I should say this is the only porridge in the world that's received the Goldilocks seal of approval. I'm just gonna stir that up real quick. Oh, I should mention that I forgot my salt. Just a dash of salt. Actually, I'm gonna put a little bit more in a dash in that. We're gonna give it a half a teaspoon of salt and then some cinnamon in there as well. I'll stir that up real well. So this is going to bake with the lid on for about an hour and a half at 350 degrees. All right, let's see how this turned out. Ooh, that looks awesome. This got some caramelized sugar and milk on the top there. It looks like that boiled all the way up to the top. And I'm gonna say that is perfect. This one looks a little bit thin, so I'm gonna stick that back in for another half an hour. Sometimes this recipe suggests that it's good for about an hour and a half, between an hour and a half and 2 hours, so kind of a long bake time. But I'm gonna guess that rice has not soaked up the milk that it needs to and become soft enough yet. It's way too liquidy, so another half an hour would probably be perfect. Okay, so it's now been 2 hours, and at 1.5 hours I actually put in a half a cup of raisins. This has thickened up quite a lot since the last time we checked. I've noticed that when we leave this overnight, it thickens up even more and becomes quite thick. Actually, more like a regular pudding. This is a little bit soupy, but really really yummy. My family's gonna have to fish out the raisins because they don't like them, but because I'm baking it today, I get to put raisins in it. My grandmother definitely would have put raisins in it. So, a couple things. Also just show you, this is now ready to, it's been cooling for a little bit. I'm gonna eat this have a bowl of this right now, and I'm also gonna eat it for breakfast in the morning and probably for the next several days. And I'm gonna serve up a bowl of this other to my daughter and my wife because I know they've been waiting. It smells so good in our kitchen. I wish you could be here to experience the smell. It's really a beautiful smell for a Friday afternoon, Friday evening. That's really good. It's not quite the same as my grandmother's recipe, but the potted porridge pudding is amazing. Potter's porridge bakes on a stovetop in about 35 minutes, 15 minutes in a pressure cooker, or about 40 minutes in a rice cooker on the brown rice setting. That's available on my website, potterboy.com. And if you like us, please subscribe to our channel. I'm not sure which direction it is, but it's right there. You can push one of those buttons. And if you'd like to leave a comment, we'd love to respond to you. And please tell a friend. Happy baking.